Well, welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. If you are just tuning in, our focus this morning has been on historically black colleges and universities. There are 101 HBCUs located in 19 states, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and the District of Columbia. And HBCUs have played a crucial role in ensuring that African Americans and students of all races can receive a high-quality education. Since 1944, the UNCF has provided more than 55,000 students at HBCUs a top-notch education through scholarships and internships. And my next guest is a communications guru. She uses her voice to inform, inspire, and empower. Ashlei Stevens is a hostess for the UNCF Empower Me Tour. How are you, Ashlei?
I am doing well, Andrea. Excited to be here, and thank you for having UNCF on.
Oh, absolutely. I appreciate your time today. And I think many people are familiar with the UNCF's iconic motto, "A mind is a terrible thing to waste," credited to former executive director, the late, great Vernon Jordan. So I think that this UNCF Empower Me Tour is a continuation of that outstanding legacy. So if you would tell us more about the Empower Me Tour and what it's all about.
Absolutely. Listen, we're very excited because we want students and parents who are watching to come out. We're having a Midwest UNCF Empower Me Tour October 15th and 16th. The best parts about it, number one, it's free. And number two, this year it is virtual. So that means you have the chance to speak with students, can speak with college admissions counselors, to receive acceptance on site at the UNCF Empower Me Tour. We're giving away scholarships. We're giving away 13 merit scholarships worth $2,500 each. So we're giving away scholarships. We're going to have financial planning workshops that are beneficial for parents and for students. We'll discuss scholarships and ways to pay for college, and also choosing the right major for you. So it's truly an all-encompassing day of college readiness for students. And the beautiful thing about it is UNCF always wants to make sure that we're exposing young people to the beauty, the value, and the rich legacy of historically black colleges and universities, HBCUs. As you mentioned earlier, Andrea, that the HBCUs are only in 19 states. So the good thing about UNCF and our college readiness tour and our career readiness tour, we're able to bring the HBCU experience to you. And that's really what this is all about. Scholarships, introducing you to HBCUs, and getting you ready beyond high school.
Yeah, and before the pandemic, the tour was truly a tour. You would travel from city to city and invite the kids to come through and really just take in all the information. But with this virtual setup, which of course is due to the pandemic, it really is a one-stop shop, but they don't have to walk anywhere. They can sit in that same chair and just click on to all the different things that you have to offer. And you did mention it's not just for students. This is for parents and also educators and really the public at large who's interested in finding out more information.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. And folks can find out more information and register on our website, empowermetour.org. Empowermetour.org. And you're right, October 15th will be sessions from the evening, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Again, for parents, we're going to have welcome. We're going to have a session just for parents. And again, that's also a chance where students can talk to admissions counselors on site. And we introduce everyone, parents and students, to the HBCU experience. Then all day Saturday, October 16th, beginning at 9 a.m. is when we kick off the HBCU fair. That's, again, you can speak to admissions counselors. We'll have financial aid and scholarship workshops. Yes, it truly is an all-encompassing one-stop shop, and it's totally, totally free. So as you mentioned, Andrea, yes, if there are members of the public who are interested to be a part of this day, we invite them. There are learning opportunities no matter where you are in your journey. Your child may be in 8th grade or 10th grade, or even a senior in high school. We want them to know it's never too early and certainly not too late to learn about the steps that you should take to get prepared for college.
Absolutely. And there are a lot of students who are first generation to go to college. And so they may not have that parent who's saying, this is what you need to do, or I remember I had to do this or that. They really do need that extra guidance, the parent as well. And really, when you talk about taking on loans, you have to understand what that means, that interest rate, how much you may owe at the end of that loan, what default means. All of those things are so important because that's what you're going to have along with your degree right. when you're finished after you matriculate through your university or college. And I think a lot of times kids feel like they just want to have the money so they can go without truly understanding all that falls under what it means to have that student debt.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you there. And that's also why it's important that, again, we're offering scholarships, not just at the Empower Me Tour, but it's the business and the mission of UNCF, right? To offer hundreds of scholarship programs each and every year. Because, as you mentioned, Andrea, many HBCU students to this day are still among the first in their families to go to college. In fact, 70% of HBCU students are eligible for federal Pell Grants, which means they may need a little extra help paying for college, right? And we do have research. UNCF has a research arm, the Frederick D. Patterson Research Institute, and they actually have published studies that show that HBCU students end up with higher amounts of debt than students who attend predominantly white institutions, right? So we know that the financial burden is there, but that's why UNCF has opportunities like the Empower Me Tour to take that burden off of parents and off of students. And wanted to mention, Andrea, you were so kind to mention UNCF's endearing motto, "A mind is a terrible thing to waste." And in recent years, they added a little bit more on to the end of the motto to say, "A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in." Yes. And investments into young people's future, that's what this is all about. And honestly, none of this would be made possible without the investments we have some incredible sponsors. Wells Fargo has been our founding sponsor, in addition to FedEx, Cox, P&G, Bank of America. None of this would be possible without them. And just we're appreciative of the support that corporations, foundations, individuals have given over more than 75 years to ensure that UNCF continues to do what it does, to invest back into young people and make sure that they're not only making it to and through college, but on to meaningful careers that are tied to their majors and aligned with their passions.
Yeah, and I want to talk about the HBCU experience because I am a HBCU grad. I attended Central State University in Ohio. I majored in radio and television. I was a dancer in the band, and I pledged my sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha, and you are my sorority sister.
Yes,
I just
ma'am.
have to so I'm happy to, kind of say that. But I have lifelong friends, and my memories are endless. So if you would just talk a little bit about that experience and how it is like no other.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad that you were able to experience HBCUs firsthand as a graduate. I grew up around HBCU culture because my parents met at South Carolina State University, where I'm from in South Carolina. And if you think about it, in the early 1970s, when they went to college, schools in South Carolina had just integrated their senior year of high school, right? So it's not like, their world was very much literally Black and white segregated. So they didn't have many options to say, oh, I think I want to go to XYZ institution. Black colleges were stepping up at a time when Black Americans didn't have a lot of choices and other opportunities. So my parents met at South Carolina State. I always loved going every year to the homecoming games with them. To this day, they have lifelong friends that they have met, and I've become friends with their children over the years. And HBCUs overall is such an exciting experience. And while that did not end up being my personal choice for college, only because I wanted to go to South Carolina State, but I also had to go where the most money was available for me on a track scholarship. So I had a track scholarship to another school. But I'll say again, HBCUs have unmatched history, culture, and value. They're like no other. And I think what a lot of folks found, I think many HBCUs experienced an increase in interest and enrollment, particularly since the murder of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, the entire social justice movement that we're seeing today, the modern day social justice movement, has really sparked an interest in folks to say, I want to go to a place where I know that I'm going to feel safe. I want to go to an institution where I know that I feel like someone understands me. They get me, my Blackness, my experience. And I don't want to stop there because, again, HBCUs are open. They are not exclusive to Black Americans, right? Anyone can attend a HBCU, no matter your race, your nationality, your ethnicity. But I think for a lot of Black students, it's been a safe haven. HBCUs have been a safe haven for many, many years. And thanks to UNCF's work and investments that people make into UNCF, we're able to pour back into HBCUs to help with general operating support for select private HBCUs, as well as, again, hundreds of scholarship programs for students just so they can attend and just be there each semester and make it happen.
Yeah, and one of the most important things is being able to be prepped to get that higher education. And so this Empower Me tour certainly does an outstanding job in prepping students and parents alike. So if you would talk a little bit about that, what advice do you give for parents once the Empower Me tour is over? What should they be doing to get their student ready to go away to college?
Excellent question. And you're right. We will definitely give out some helpful tips and advice on October 15th and October 16th at the Empower Me Tour. But beyond that date, we want to remind students that, again, it's never too early to prepare yourself to be in the best light possible. A lot of college admissions counselors, they want to see a well-rounded individual. Having great grades is incredible, and we encourage you to strive for that. We also encourage you, again, to be involved, to volunteer, to show that you have other talents. Maybe you've worked a summer job. Make sure you're writing all this down and kind of keeping track of all of your activities so you can present those things. Also, scholarships. UNCF is a great starting point to look for scholarships on our website, uncf.org, uncf.org. And there's actually a scholarships tab that actually has some really, really helpful information for parents and for students to make sure that you're in the best shape to apply for need-based scholarships, which are obviously based on financial income, and also merit-based, which are based, a lot of time on academic criteria. So again, reach out to community organizations. We mentioned the sorority, Andrea, fraternities, civic organizations. A lot of people have money to give out, no matter how big or how small. It may be $100 here, it could be $1,000 there, or $10,000 somewhere else, but it can help you with tuition, to paying for books, to paying for room and board. Apply to anything. One of our senior vice presidents recently mentioned that when it was time for her daughter to apply for college, she had struggled with some type of allergy growing up. Lo and behold, they were able to find a scholarship for children with that particular type of allergy.
Wow.
Yes, there's all types of support out there. So yes, definitely start looking. Keep a tracker, keep a spreadsheet of all the scholarships that you actually meet the criteria for, the date that you've applied, the date you submitted, and the date that you've heard back, right? It's best to keep track of those things. And also wanted to mention, we all of us keep a mobile device in our hands all the time, right? So something that's really beneficial to use, there's an app called the Scholly app, and that's SCHOLLY, the Scholly app. It is the #1 scholarship app in America, and it was created by a young Black man named Christopher Gray, who is a UNCF Gates Millennium Scholar. So we always like to give Christopher some shine because he's really doing it and helping other young people really at the touch of your hand with the Scholly app. So yes, beyond the Empower Me Tour, start now. Getting the trusted circle of recommenders together, making sure you're volunteering, go ahead and start looking for scholarship opportunities. And something else that's important, Andrea, clean up your social profile. That's going to be important. That's going to be important that we tell young people, no matter if you're applying to college, but particularly for our college students who are watching and you're applying for internships and maybe even your first job out of college, employers really do look at that. Be cognizant of what's out there. You think it might only be a flash in the pan and it's only going to last for 24 hours and it disappears. Technology is technology. So just be mindful of everything you're putting out there so that you're putting your best face forward, starting in high school, college, and beyond.
Great way to wrap up the show. Ashlei, thank you so much for your time and all the great information.
Thank you so much for having me. And we hope everyone again can come out literally virtually from your home for free October 15th and 16th. Register at empowermetour.org.
There it is.
Andrea.
Absolutely. Ashlei Stevens is a hostess for the UNCF Empower Me Tour, and it's happening for Wisconsin students virtually on October 15th and 16th. Again, it's free, but remember, registration is required. Visit uncf.org/EMT for more details. That is going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. As always, thank you for watching, and I do hope you join us again next week as we take another look at our issues in Milwaukee. Have a great day.